Good morning. Welcome to first week in November, Woolman Foreman Leadership Group. We're going to talk on the top 10 with construction. We either in manufacturing, bring people in, you name it, so we got to deal with it. So we want to start walking through to know the basics on where the violations are coming in. And with construction people that we hire, number one, clearly, is fall protection. And it's been that way for many years. So what I want to talk about is what are the basics, getting into some of the basics, what we need to understand. Number one is to recognize where there is fall protection issues, hazards per se. How do we prevent them? When is it required? Here's when it's required. Anytime you're going to move off of a ladder, even including reaching to the point it's unsafe, because we have to create and maintain a safe workplace. Anything in manufacturing is 4 feet or higher, we're required to have fall protection. Part of violations are employees being trained and understand they're required to do what's called a pre-use inspection. Means they have to look at anything that's deformed, torn, worn, those types of things on a harness before they put it on. If it's ever used to a point where there was a fall, immediately it must be thrown out, period. Number one, death in construction is relating to fall protection. Another issue where citations are happening are when folks are within what's called an aerial lift, these extension booms, and you're in a cage. Well, they are required to have fall protection on any time they're in an aerial lift. So always keep that in mind. The other thing is to keep in mind that if we're inside a scissors lift and we just step on the toe board, at that point, it's required that we have fall protection on. If we're going to stay within the confines within the parameters of the guards, and we're not going to step on any rail or toe guard, you're okay. But an employer still has that option to require them to wear fall protection. We ought to assess the condition. So if we're going to bring somebody in, we in our departments, we should assess what's the safe way, because we're required to create and maintain a safe workplace. What is our safe practices? Do we got to do any training? It might be edges on a roof. Maybe someone's going up on a roof. Maybe it's surfaces that we're working on. Okay, ladders, it could be an issue. There may be holes or openings in wherever we're working, or we're up on top, say even it's on top of a roof. So that's in general the type of thing that we should be aware of, including guarding. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to send along a PowerPoint that describes more in detail for your information education on fall protection, understanding it in more detail, because I think knowing it's the number one issue, and we do bring contractors in from time to time, we should understand what it means. So with that, that's my message for the week. Have a great week, and please remember, be safe and make great choices. Take care till next week.